Hello, and welcome to Living with Annietude. This is my first attempt at going live on Living with Annietude, and I have Mike Padurano with me to be my first guest. Hi, Mike.
Hi.
So we're going to talk today a little bit about what Living with Annietude is, because I've had a lot of people recently ask me, and I think that if we talk it out, we can kind of get through what it means and also why it matters. So I'm going to give you the first stab at it to see if you pass the test, if you know.
Wow. You give me the first stab at Living with Annietude.
Mm-hmm. See what your thoughts are.
So as far as Annietude goes, for me, it's a way of life. It's a full embodiment of embracing yourself. It's not about the good days, the bad days, the ugly days, the horrible days. It's not about every day being great. It's about thriving and embracing whatever you're going through to always find your best self. It's about, at the same time, while doing so, continuously finding ways to lift up others.
Okay, I like it. So I guess my question would be to you, how do you find like a good Annietude when you're not feeling all of that?
I mean, today is a good example. So I'm not feeling it today, right? And yesterday was torture, but
I actually told you today that you're having a bad one. You have a bad Annietude today.
Yes. So, and yesterday wasn't much better, right? Yesterday I was even worse, right? I was emotionally just all over the place. But I showed up, I did what I do, I helped others. It's about going beyond yourself. It's about finding ways to impact, embrace, and really just show love in every capacity that you're able to, and being able to carry others forward when they can't do it for themselves.
I mean, thank you. That's very flattering that so this has become sort of like a way of life, and it's, it can come off, I talked about this in my last podcast. It can come off as like just a word or like a play on words, with my name, but it really is it's totally what you said. And it's an important thing because it is a way of life, and it is something that I try to live and breathe, but it's not something that I can do every day. I just do my best, and I really try to do the best next thing. So like do the right thing, like whether it's to return the phone call that you don't want to return, or to do whatever you said you were going to do and follow through, to come through with your commitments and be responsible and show love. Like, one thing about Annietude is like, it's when I don't want to. So like when my first inclination is to run the other way. Nice bug. I don't know how long you're posing. You have some swag. I don't even have swag yet. When my first inclination is to run the other way and, go put the covers over my head. When you're a mom and an executive and, you have lots of stuff going on, which I do, it's really not possible to just put the covers over your head, even if you want to, even if you feel like that's what you need to do to get by. And you can for a couple minutes, but you can't really. You have to fulfill your commitments and be responsible. So that's when I feel the most pull for me. Uh-oh, I hear them. That's when I feel the most pull, like, meaning I don't want to give. I don't want to, I don't, and that comes down to me not feeling like I can. But when I push myself, like when I'm feeling like that and someone will say to me, you got to go do a podcast, you got to go write, you have to go create something, you have to go give, you have to go heal. I always feel better after I do, like always. There's never been a time where I was like, well, that really didn't do it for me. Like if I just show up and I am just my truest self in my raw, like authentic way, even if it's not totally on, that's what having a good Annietude is. Like just going and saying, I'm here. And sometimes, what?
Nothing. We're good. I'm just, yeah.
Okay. I don't know what's going on.
It's like the WWE in life right here. So we're good.
Well, I think that's, it's 3:00 in the afternoon for you, right? I can do the times. Yep. It's okay. So I don't know if you have any feedback for that, or what you think. If you think I'm true to those words, you know me pretty well.
Well, you're definitely true to those words, right? Like that's not even a question. It's easy to hide, right? It's easy to, when things get tough and you're having one of those days and you just want to hide or you want to run or you don't want to just follow through because life is overwhelming, right? And everyone goes through it. It's, Rocky. I mean, you look at those movies, right? It's not how you get knocked down, it's how you get back. And it's how you pick yourself up and what character you have and what lifts you up that makes the difference, right? So when looking at Annietude and you with Annietude especially, like it's a whole new side of the game, right? Because you you are a lot like you're a lot like me in that respect, right? Like when I'm having my worst days, if I reach outside of myself and I reach out to someone and I help somebody else, I start feeling better, right? And for me, I know it's my self-worth issues that I'm working on and stuff like that because it reminds me that I have value. Not that it gives me value, but it reminds me what I have, right? And sometimes when you're in that dark place, you don't remember. And it's not that you don't have it. It's not that you're not that person. It's not that, you know, it. It's not that you don't have those things, but you just don't think of it. It doesn't come to mind, right? And that's the difference. Like Annietude and the embodiment of Annietude, or the embodiment of thriving through your bad days, and even just surviving is a win, right? Because sometimes you just have those days. But if you can overcome that to reach beyond yourself and reach out to somebody else and lift somebody else up, then you've already won. Everyone in your life has already won.
Right. And I think you nailed it when you said that about worth. And it's not like an ego thing. It's not like, oh, I need to feel important. It's like, it's just that giving and that like connection, making that connection with somebody that needs you or wants you or, desires to have that connection. It just like naturally lifts your energy. And I think there's another part of Annietude we didn't touch on. And that is badass sass that I think goes along with it. So you have to have a little bit of badass in that you don't have to be completely anti-authority. I'm not going to say that. I do conform to rules sometimes, but yeah, I do. I really do. I know you don't. But I think it's important to have a little bit of, even if you have to fake it till you make it type badass, where you're like, you know what? I got this. And just the self-affirmation and saying, I got this. And when I was in one of my darkest places in life years ago, I had a mantra. I don't know that I ever told you this. I had a mantra that was, it's not going to sound like anything special. It's not even going to sound like that, mind blowing. It was just do something different. So like, and I still think it to myself when I'm feeling like I can't, just like I can't. Today, I just can't. And I think to myself, do something different. So what can I do differently today that will change? Because I'm doing the same things and I'm getting the same result, right? So what can I do differently today to make this small change in my life and create this energy that I need in order to keep going?
Well, and it goes back to the insanity concept, right? Like doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. It's the same concept. All you're doing is explaining to yourself and making it quite simple that you need to make a change one way or another, no matter what it is, big, small, indifferent. It doesn't matter. It's about perspective and mindset, right? And if you're able to trigger that switch to just look at it from an outside point of view, like my situation is not ideal by any stretch of the imagination, but there's people around this country right now losing family members all over the place.
Give me like a minute, like a short blip on what your situation is. So I know. So everyone knows.
So everyone knows because you know.
Well, give me like a 2-sentence, like I could do it for you, but
I'm
you're a single dad of 3 under 10.
I'm a single dad of 3 that got emergency custody March 6th, and I've been stranded in Arkansas since, and the whole world went into chaos, and I'm still stuck here. And this can be indefinite because I don't have a timeline or a court date or anything.
And you're not leaving your kids, you rescued them. So
right. So it's a combination of everything, right? Like I'm here, I'm doing what I have to do. Days aren't easy. And my kids aren't typical 8, 10, and 3-year-olds, 10, 8, and 3-year-olds, whatever. But they're not. They went through their experiences, and there's a lot of emotional baggage and emotional trauma, and they don't act out like normal kids do, right? Because they don't know how to express those emotions. So it puts me on a roller coaster with them a lot of times, and to get through the ups and downs with them, a lot of days are very difficult. A lot of days are, short-tempered and,
I mean, I'll tell you that as a single parent of 3 kids, 10 and under, is difficult for anybody. So you have to give yourself a little extra credit that you're dealing with some on top of that, like icing on the cake here with the stuff that goes along with your situation. I mean, it's clear, we don't have to get into details, but you got emergency custody. So like, we know that there's extenuating circumstances here. So you're dealing with that on top of like, my kids are 10 and 8, and some days are really hard. And they're pretty self-sufficient at this point. I mean, sometimes you're just banging your head against the wall, and that's just the way it is. And so, first of all, don't feel alone. But second of all, like, you got to have some self-compassion there. Like, I hope you don't think that it's easy for anybody.
Well, I mean, some days I do, some days I don't, right? Because as I'm going through those roller coaster emotions with them, I'm also, riding the ups and downs. I'm doing a ton of self-work. I'm doing, I'm really going deep and diving and working on myself, right? So I'm also putting myself through my own emotional roller coaster on top of what they're going. And I bring the term of isolation to a whole new level, right? Like, I mean, I'm 1,200 miles from friends and family and where I'm from. And, I pretty much, Amazon Prime takes 7 days to get here. So that tells you where I am, right? Like this is the reality of my life. So people say there's always a way, there's this, there's that. I mean, I've got nobody, right? Like, if I want 5 minutes, I have to lock myself in between the 2 bathrooms so that they can't find me. Like, that's about the extent
really
of
hard.
Me getting space, right?
So what gets you through?
A lot of things, right? Like, I mean, there's a lot of things in my life that get me through and that inspire me, and you're one of them, right? Like, you have tremendously inspired me and impacted me, and Annietude has Annietude has taken on its own meaning in this house, right? Like, it really has. Like, I mean, okay, sorry, that was a 3-year-old. I was making sure what she grabbed. But like, it's embodied something different, and it has, and it's completely changed the perspective of the house. I mean, there's smiles, there's laughs, there's, and it's healing, right? And your inspiration to me has overflowed to children. That is how you have had that big. And there's others that have also, and there's many of friends and everything else that have played a role. But I think as of today, your impact's been big. And
thank you. I mean, I'm glad that I could do that for you. You two are that way to me. I mean, you push me when I don't want to go any further, and you push me and you say I can, and then it makes me say I can. So I think another part of this whole thing, living with Annietude, is like having that support and connection with people. Like, you think that you give isolation a new name, but
right.
With everything going on with COVID, like, you could be 30 miles away, 3 miles away. Like, you're still really isolated. So you're not totally alone in that way, that there's a whole new brand of isolation on all of us. But we're so far away, but we still talk and connect and sort of lean on each other. Uh-oh. Is the zoo coming? Uh-oh. We're muted.
Okay. So well, the mutes is, so I don't curse on Annietude. But at the end of the day, right, all we could do is the best we can. Right.
Yeah. I mean, look at your situation. Like, you can't, and this is nothing against the kids, but like, you can't have a work meeting. You can't be on a podcast without, it's an added layer of really difficult for you, that, and it's really inspiring to me that you stay really patient. Like, I don't know how you are off camera, but you're like so patient with your kids, whatever toy you're playing with. You're patient.
This was thrown at me. So
Right.
it's like, I mean, I'm always try to be patient, right? And I lose it. Don't get me wrong. I do. I snap, I lose it, I yell.
Well, it's normal.
I scream. Okay. So
we can look, we've been talking for 15 minutes. We can wrap it up. I usually do my what?
It's fine. Yeah.
No, but my podcasts have been about 15 to 20 minutes. So we're right in the time frame of where I'm not this one?
No.
All right. What else you got for me? You want to interview me?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. What do you got?
I do. So how do you handle, what do you do to carry forward your Annietude? And where do you want to see your Annietude carry your impact and legacy?
So I'm one of those people that thinks that if you can impact one person, then you're doing your job. Like if someone watches us today and they say, I've been through that, or wow, my life is really difficult, maybe I can do something different today, or whatever piece they take from what we're talking about, or anything on any of the podcasts that I've done before, if I impact one person, then that encompasses what I try to do, because I just want to pay it forward. I just want to give back. Because hi, buddy.
Welcome to life at Mike's house.
Welcome to Mike's zoo. So, I think that every day is sometimes a struggle, but every day is also amazing and incredible. So I like to wake up and say, it's a new day. It's a clean slate. It's hi, buddy.
This is,
do any of the kids know the Annietude chant? Like, can they at least say it on live streaming?
I'm sure they could. We'll see the next one that comes out, which one it is.
Right.
So look, here's my take on that, right? I think you undersell your expectations because you want to keep it minimalized, because you're scared to commit to a larger, grandiose picture. What am I doing right now?
Not me.
Who am I talking to? Nope, not going to happen. So now she's screaming at the TV in the room. Look, it's like, I feel like you're selling yourself short in a lot of ways. And it's one of those things where, you want to set low expectations and you want to make it realistic and you want to make it simple. But I also think you're scared to grow outside of that.
Are you calling me out on live stream TV?
Yeah, I'm actually calling you out about Annietude on your Living with Annietude podcast.
Thank you. And this is live. Perfect. Thank you for doing that. That's what you get. Yeah, that's your punishment.
Who am I talking to?
I'm not scared. I'm not scared.
Am I talking to?
I am excited, and I am going slowly. I am more patient than I've ever been. Let's put it that way.
Hi.
So.
Hi.
They're taking turns watching it live on YouTube in the room and coming out here and seeing the other on TV. I can't blame them.
No.
So at the end of the day,
you can never blame them.
At the end of the day, I do think partial fear. I do believe.
So what do I do to not be scared then? What do I do to not be scared?
Have three kids running around you at the same time. It's a test of your patience
on live television. I don't have more than two.
It's a test of patience on live stream.
It sure is. Well, how about we can save it? Let's save it.
No, I'm not letting you get off the hook.
Don't let me off the hook, no matter what I do.
Who am I talking to right now? Who am I talking to? No, who am I talking? You little butt.
They're so hyper right now.
They really are, right? Like, and they've had no sugar today, so this is hysterical. Thank God. Look, at the end of the day, you've made an enormous impact on me, my life, my children.
Hi, Annietude.
There you go. Who am I talking to? Who am I talking to? Here, say who? Come here.
No, she's all hyper.
Look, so in return, I'm going to push you because more people need you in their lives. more people need that motto in their lives. They can't do it for themselves. So they
I am thrilled to help more people, and I will. I'm moving a little slower than I think you want me to, but that's okay. We'll get there.
That's all right. You're on live YouTube right now. You never thought you'd be there.
Hey, what can I say?
Sid, who am I talking to? Talk. Who am I talking to? Sid.
She won't stay. No worries.
Here he comes.
We have enough with that one.
Yeah, seriously. That's it.
All right, so you pushed me, and I think the kids need a little daddy attention, so we will wrap this up. But I appreciate you.
Are you getting nervous?
No, I'm not nervous. I just think it's time. I think it's time.
I feel like you're getting anxious. What I might say next? You think me getting off the phone's going to stop them from this chaos? Sid, who am I talking to? Hey, who am I talking to? Come here. Say it.
This poor dad.
This is life with Annietude, right? So if you embrace them to be happy, this is what you get.
They are smiling and happy, and that makes me happy.
They are having a blast. So here's what I want you guys to do. All stand together. And what are we doing? Say it. Who are we talking to?
This is the best.
Daddy. So there you go.
Wow. This is like, I'm blushing.
You should be.
Thank you.
At the end of the day, you have changed our lives forever. And at the end of the day, you have changed my life forever. And you are an unbelievable, amazing human being that has the ability to impact so many. Please go in the room for a few. Please go in the room for a few.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. I do.
And the world deserves to understand what you can bring to the table. Wait, I want to shove you in my armpit. Come here.
Well,
Come here.
We'll make that happen on another day.
Hi, Annietude.
Hi. They have lost their minds today.
They have.
They've lost their minds.
And this is with no sugar, so could you imagine?
Right, I can't.
Look.
Thanks.
So here's the question for you.
Okay. Am I allowed to hear the question and then we'll answer it later?
No. I want you to answer it now.
No.
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
Hi.
So, where do you want to go next with this? And how do you want to reach those that you can reach?
I think we're going to save this question. I really do.
Really?
It's a cliffhanger.
Okay.
I have the answer, but I think we're going to save it. So where do I want to go and who do I want to reach and how?
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get there.
Okay.
Well, I thank you for thank the kids. I mean, they were active participants in just a lively show. I appreciate it. I gotta go. And that's a wrap. Bye, guys.
They're extra reserved for this one, apparently.
Extra.
Apparently, there's going to have to be a part 2.